Welcome everybody to your Monday Mentor Monday. Woman Empowering Woman runs every last Monday of the month. Today is September 27, and we are so excited with our part 2 of gut health. Judy, Gabie, and myself, Claudia Bohorquez from Canada, we want to introduce ourselves. I'm going to start with our beautiful international platinum diamond, I said it all wrong, diamond international platinum, Gabie Daughtrey, so she can introduce herself and then pass it on to Judy. Gabie.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us. This topic of gut-brain connection, gut microbiome, it is so, oh my gosh, there's so much to talk about. I'm always researching it because 90% of the feel-good hormone, serotonin, is produced in our gut. So everything about our health starts from the gut, and they have found that there's a gut-brain connection, and it links to the heart through the vagus nerve. The vagus nerve is just basically the communication hub of our immune system. And so we're going to touch a little bit on those things, but I just find it so fascinating. I almost taking courses, and this one was interconnected. It's really, really a good course. It was like an hour a day for 10 days. And I ordered the book for it because I found it so informative for my family's health, for my health, and for what we do, which is immunity. The hub of our immunity, again, is in our gut. So much so that if we take too many antibiotics and don't replenish our gut, our good bacteria, we're more prone to having sickness. We're more prone to having viruses, bacteria. And the doctors don't tell us that. They just said, oh, I recommend you go buy some probiotics, but that's it. They don't tell you, make sure they have prebiotics, make sure that there's various forms of them. And so anyways, I find this fascinating, and I'm going to show you my new way of taking my probiotics with our new products. And we can basically talk to our loved ones, talk to our potential customers, our friends, how to improve our health through our gut using our products. And if you have access to or means of giving samples, even if it's 2 days worth to your friends, they'll feel a difference when they try our products. So anyhow, Judy, what do you think?
Oh, I completely agree with you, Gabie. There is a lot to talk about when we talk about our gut-brain health connection. Everything, like you said, starts in the gut, and they didn't used to know that. What you said about doctors and being able to inform you about your diet is so true, and it's doctors were not taught in medical school. They took maybe 5 hours of nutrition in their whole medical training. They just didn't learn about it. And so the main thing that they focused on was pharmaceuticals. And the gut and what you put in your body is essentially what you are. And it has everything to do with your health, has everything to do with your brain. And so I was an RN for a very long time, and I'm retired now. And so I know what I'm talking about as far as the physicians not learning about nutrition. They just didn't. They're getting a better understanding now. And there are some really wonderful doctors that can give you extremely good information about how important your nutrition is. And we can give you the names of some of those guys to talk to. And Gabie she really is a wealth of information. She reads all the time. And so she's got all kinds of periodicals and books that she can recommend for anybody that's really interested in learning. So I'm very happy to be here with all of you today. And hope we can learn a lot.
Thank you, Judy. So for those of you that don't know, and Gabby got so excited and jumped into the topic, I want to introduce our beautiful Gabie. Gabie is the wife of Dave Daughtrey. Most people know Dave. Gabie kind of keeps on the back of the scene, and then she just comes out and looks beautiful when she has to introduce them at convention. So for those of you that are not in For Life, this is not necessarily a For Life talk, woman empowering woman. You can invite anybody from any company, any field, your friends. But it is, we are, most of us, and Gabie is our mentor and our example of a successful business in the network marketing company For Life Research. So if you're watching this video later on, or you don't know what For Life is, we are the immune system company, and Dave and Gabie hold a team of over 1 million people. They are called the Platinums of Platinums. There's only 2 platinums that are not under them. Everybody else is. So they are the creator of millionaires. Dave and Gabie have been here for over 22 years, and they have built 129 millionaires. And like I said, all except 2 are under her team and Dave's team. And so I'm very, very honored to call her my friend, to just know that, you know, there's so much wealth in being the mother and the wife of such a great man as we admire so much, that is Dave. Because like I said, she keeps behind the scenes, but when we bring her out, she's a wealth of knowledge. She's always giving tips to Dave on what to say and motivational things. And so there's a lot of, when Dave comes out, that Gabie has written for him, and it's just nice to see. So with that, what I want to do is I want to start with a presentation, and I'm going to run through it. But before I do that, because this is being recorded and I want to hold policies and procedures in place, please remember, if you're watching this later on a video or right now, that nothing that we say here, no products, nothing that we say here has been approved by the FDA, and it's not intended to diagnose, treat, or cure any disease. We all share just about what we know. We share examples, and we just want to say that, you know, our products are products that support the immune system. If at any point we do say a disease or a pathology, it is not linked to say that our products cure or disease that. We are going to have a testimonial at the end from somebody that has lost a lot of weight and her health is amazing, and she is going to say that is thanks to the products. But it is not just thanks to the products, it's thanks to her lifestyle that she has lived through the past year and her coaching, and she has supported this testimony and this weight loss through the products. And the product herself has changed. And so it is your body that responds. So the products don't do anything without you doing your part. And so that's why gut is so important. So with that, now we've covered policies and procedures, hopefully enough. And I'm just going to run through this nice presentation, just going to helps. Oh, I was going to put the Great Escape and I forgot. Okay, one second. We started chatting, and normally we are now putting a motivational video. Okay. Very good. And we're just going to jump, Judy and Gabie and I can tell you a little bit about this. I'll start with the beginning because it's the part that I wanted. So this is our presentation flyer. So this is what Gabie was saying, that the microbiome is, we're more microbes than cells in our body. So for those of you, we did this last week. This is just a summary. And so we are more microbes than cells. We have more bacteria in our body than cells. And bacteria, I'm reading the part on the right, are very important for energy, are important for balancing our composition of our metabolic functions. And also, like Gabie was saying, she was saying it to me, sorry, it depends also on the country that you live. Like every microbiome is different. And even in your own household, you have a special microbiome flora than what you have, you know, in your mom's household, because, you know, it's everything you touch, and it's everything that, you know, our fingers touch lots of stuff. And so it is incredible. Now, it is important to have fibers in all of your food. We're going to talk about that at the end. And to increase your your fermented foods, because it's very important for the microbiome. Gut microbiota, they're different in people that are obese. And so that's just a summary, okay? Now, today I wanted to concentrate on the gut-brain connection. Gabby's very good at this topic, so I'm just going to run through these 5 slides that I put in so that she can, because she loves reading about this. And when she started like teaching me about this, we started getting very involved. And then Michael and Judy, who are wealth of knowledge as well on this, we enjoy very much this. So, you know that feeling that you get butterflies in your stomach? It has a lot to do with what we're going to talk today. They come from your belly, but they actually have started in your brain. So all of these have studies that I have not attached, but I'll tell you where to go because, again, policies and procedures, you can't just be saying anything online. So it is all attached to studies that you can check. So recent studies have shown that your brain affects your gut and your health, and your brain affects your, it's a symbiotic form. We'll see that in a second. So the vagus nerve, vagus nerve and the nervous system. So I put that brain and that gut just because they are so connected. Neurons are cells found in your brain and in the central nervous system, and they tell your body how to behave. So there are approximately 100 billion in the brain and 500 million in your gut. And these are connected. They're connected by your nervous system. So the vagus nerve is one of the biggest nerves connecting the gut and the brain, and it sends signals in both directions. So I want to show you the picture first. This is what they found. The vagus nerve is the longest collection of nerves in the body, and it passes information back and forth between the brain and the gut. So it's very interesting what happens with the studies. And I'm going to tell you about 3 different studies. The first one is that in animal studies, stress inhibits the signal sent through the vagus nerve and also causes gastrointestinal problems. So if you understand that, what happens is you have problems eating, you have problems with stress, they're all connected. So the other study is in humans, and it found that people that have irritable bowel syndrome or Crohn's disease had reduced vagal tone, indicating a reduced function of the vagus nerve. So they tested people, and a lot of you know that they had Crohn's. My own child was prescribed with IBS. This is very common, and you get this from stress and eating bad. So an interesting study in mice found that feeding them a probiotic reduced the amount of stress hormone in their blood. However, when their vagus nerve was cut, the probiotic had no effect. So you can take all the probiotic you want, but if your vagus nerve is not working, then you break that axis. Now, the next thing I want to talk to you about are the happy hormones. And this is a topic I could do like a whole presentation on. Your happy hormones, dopamine, serotonin, oxytocin, endorphins, they are the ones that cause you to be excited, happy, emotional, balance. These are great hormones to have in a good level. So your gut and brain are connected through the neurotransmitters. They are produced in the brain and they control your feelings and emotions. For example, serotonin, it contributes to the feeling of happiness and it helps control your body clock. Interesting enough, many of these transmitters are also produced by your gut cells and the trillions of microbes that live there. A large proportion of serotonin is produced in the gut. So this is why getting stressed is not helpful. It's not helpful for weight. It's not helpful for anything. Your gut microbes produce a neurotransmitter called GABA, gamma-aminobutyric acid, and it helps control the feelings of fear and anxiety. So if your microbe is not healthy, that's sometimes the reason why people are depressed and anxious. They can't stop crying. And then they eat, more the binge eating. And so it's almost like you're going in a circle, like a hamster in a wheel. Studies in laboratory mice have shown that certain probiotics can increase the production of GABA and reduce anxiety and depression. And the last one I'm going to touch is inflammation. There's a lot more, like Gabby and Judy said, but let's just finish with this one. Gut microbes affect inflammation. So why I posted the picture, I just want you guys to focus on the middle one. It says early gut and microbiota development. So you have a microbiota since you were born. Your mother gave it to you in your little mouth when you were coming out of that birth canal, and it started your journey towards good immune system. But then you have a job, and when you're little is your mom to feed properly, and to not eat the junk food that sometimes we do, the Western diet, because it's going to decrease things like immune function or digestion or good absorption. And so what you want is to keep that cycle going with good nutrition. And it's going to give you good defenses on the side of the immune system. It's going to give you good tolerance with people that are allergic or sensitive to things like peanuts or milk or eggs, because if you have a good flora, you can eat everything. You've screwed up your flora, you got leaky gut, it's going to be a mess. The next thing is your gut-brain crosstalk. So it's your society, it's your need to eat, it's your mood, it's pain. This is what inflammation causes. And the last one is digestion and absorption, which is it can mess up your whole metabolism. So the way that your body runs, and metabolism is like the engine of your car. Like this is how fast you burn your calories. This is, then you start having problems with thyroid and organs that you have to, sometimes get surgeries that you don't want. So your gut-brain axis is connected through the immune system. Gut and gut microbes play an important role in your immune system and inflammation by controlling what is passed into the body and what comes out, what's excreted. If your immune system is switched on for too long, it can lead to inflammation, which is associated with a number of brain disorders like Alzheimer's disease. So inflammation is pretty much everything. We hear inflammation and we think of when we have a fall and, our foot sprain, and then we see our leg is, no, inflammation is actually everything. Our bodies are inflamed from such bad nutrition. The LPS is an inflammatory toxin. So inflammation comes from inside. Inflammation is not only what you can see, you have inflammation inside. And this one specifically is made by a certain bacteria. So this is an example of just one. It can cause inflammation, and if too much passes it from the gut to the blood. It can happen when the gut barrier becomes leaky, which allows bacteria and LPS to cross over in the blood. Inflammation and high LPS in the blood have been associated with brain disorders, depression, dementia, schizophrenia. When you just Google the topic of leaky gut, it's just, you can't stop reading. It's so important. And why is it caused? We're going to go into that. So my summary, so that I can give it to Gabby next, is your gut and brain are connected physically through millions of nerves. So most importantly, the vagus nerve. The gut and its microbes control inflammation and make different compounds. So it's all one. If you can't lose weight, if you have irregular bowel movements, if your nutrients are not being delivered the proper way, if your gut is imbalanced and you have all kinds of symptoms that are not positive, it may be linked to the way that your microflora is being protected or not, if you're not eating properly. And it influences, just to do the summary, on neurotransmitters and anxiety and mood and behavior. And so that is for me today. I got all of this from healthline.com. Again, it's all, studies and all this. So I want to pass it on to Gabby. So Gabby, what should we do to take care of our gut? And we have a list here, but I prefer if she just tells us also from all she knows. What do you do for, and leaky gut, again, it's just that you have lost your barrier. We have our gut is permeable and it has lost this permeability. And so your actual food and the toxics, of your food is coming into your bloodstream, and it's causing bad things, bad pain. And so what can we do to have a healthy gut, Gabby? No, you're muted, honey.
Okay, sorry. Aside from that list there, let me just touch a few things here. This is how you kind of know. These are a few examples to know if you have a gut problem. If you have digestive issues like gas and bloating, constipation, okay? It also can be mental issues like depression, anxiety, and brain fog. Now, we all have those, but if you have extreme depression, extreme anxiety, extreme brain fog, then that's a good indicator that, you know, you have a problem with bad bacteria. Another thing is if you are vitamin and mineral deficient, you might lack vitamin D, vitamin K, magnesium, vitamin B12, vitamin B7. And just to tell you, if you go outside for maybe 10 minutes and take off your shoes and walk on the ground, on the dirt, on the grass, on the beach, that and have the sun without sunglasses, take your sunglasses off and let that sun tell your brain it's daytime. This is, you know, you absorb the sun through your eyes. You do, the rays of sun. Don't look at the sun. I'm saying just walk, like they call it grounding. Just walk on the ground and 10 minutes without sunglasses and just let the vitamin D absorb into your body. That helps a lot. Overuse of antibiotics. So if you've used antibiotics and don't replenish your good bacteria, you're more prone to having sickness. You're more prone to, because you've basically killed all your good microbiome that's in your gut. People don't really use probiotics and prebiotics when they take antibiotics. Well, you can, I mean, if ever I take antibiotics, which is very rare, it takes a long time to establish your good bacteria back. And you have to be consistent with it. So if you take antibiotics, take your probiotics after your dose of antibiotics. And then take more after you finish your 7 or 10 day regimen of antibiotics. If you're chronically stressed out, that can also affect your good bacteria. If you have skin problems like eczema or acne, that can be a trigger that you have too much bad bacteria. You can get also arthritis, inflammatory bowel disease, which means that you basically look like you're pregnant, okay? Even men, their bellies are so hard sometimes from having so much, I guess, gas and bloating. Even women, they you know, they have that. They may look skinny, but their bellies are a little bit extended. So a simple probiotic and change of diet can help. So these are a few products that I would recommend. Glutamine is very good to help the gut. It promotes weight loss, fights leaky gut, improves skin tone. Yeah, improves skin tone. Because we reflect what we eat. And believe me, you know, it's really true. It boosts your your brain function. I mean, your brain, you start thinking a little better when your gut starts healing. You get better immunity. You also recover faster if you work out and you get sore. Glutamine is very good for, you know, for all that stuff. Another one I really like is collagen, the protein powder, basically what we have. The new one here is one of my favorites. And I'll show you something real quick after I'm done here. Did you know that it's amazing? Collagen's really good at fighting yeast overgrowth. Yeast is also a culprit in gut health because yeast is like a fungus. Like if you have been exposed to, you know, sometimes we eat fruit that may have mold on it and we have no idea. Sometimes you buy strawberries and if you don't eat them, like within 3 days, they start getting mold. So we pick out the moldy ones, but the other ones we think are still good, they're also moldy. So just throw the whole thing out, okay? Because like my example to my kids, see this piece of fruit? It's come in contact with the other piece, and it may look okay if you cut off the moldy part, but don't eat it. Don't eat it because you're eating mold and fungus or whatever's growing on that. Basically, collagen helps build the gut lining, and it helps heal the damage of leaky gut. And that's another subject. Leaky gut is basically a term used when you, like, let's say you eat a lot of bread with grains in it. Your body sometimes, if you don't have enough digestive juices in your food, I mean in your digestive, like where you're digesting your food, it starts causing small lesions in your stomach lining. And those small lesions, of course, it's microscopic ways that the food gets in through your bloodstream. And that's what causes leaky gut, is a term used when the food particles get into your bloodstream. And that's how we acquire food allergies. We start like having a rash after we have, let's say, gluten, or, you know, just stuff like that. It's a kind of an example of what leaky gut is. You know, we don't have that much time to go over leaky gut. If you want, we can go over leaky gut another, maybe next time we have, next week, not next week, the next 4 weeks. The collagen is very good in protecting and healing our gut. But in order to do that, we need to stop eating the foods that are triggering the leaky gut. And everyone's different. Claudia's gut problem is different than mine, but we may have the same problem. But she's eating different foods that may be triggering it. We all have different issues. Another food you can use, and this is like something I tell my family, we always eat, and you should take your digestive enzymes before you eat. But if you forget, take them after. Just take them, because that will help alleviate severe you know, bloating, and it helps digest your food. If you're not eating kiwi, papaya, and pineapple whenever you eat your food for dessert, then you need to take our enzymes. And our enzymes are really good. They not only help you digest your food, but they also help you eliminate your food. They're very important. Without proper enzymes, our body cannot digest the food and give us the nutrients we need to thrive. And I know it's a lot to learn, but so take your glutamine, take your collagen, and take your digestive enzymes for now. Now that we have a few new products, I always have water with me. But what I do is I take my water, I don't put ice in it yet. So I take our new collagen type 1 and I pour it in my water. And then I take the new aloe vera stick. Aloe is really good too to soothe the stomach and skin and all that. And then I take about 1/3 of our energy, if you want to add flavor to it. Because right now I've just poured our new collagen, which is flavorless, and our new aloe vera, which is flavorless. And you can either add Rio Vida sticks, or I don't like it too sweet, so I add only 1/3 of the tropical. And that to give me energy, but not super sweet. Because ever since I started taking the probiotics or prebiotic, my good bacteria is taking over my bad bacteria. So I don't crave sugar as much. That's another thing. When you have better microbiome, you don't crave sugar as much because you're not having that parasite ask for sugar. So then if I want, I can add ice to this. Now be careful not to use too hot of water on the collagen, because you can cook it and you don't want to do that. You want it to be collagen. And that's basically my new regimen on how to consume my aloe vera with my collagen. Now that we have flavorless, and there's so many ways of taking your new collagen and sharing with people. Like I'll have a few packs extra, and if I ever, when I go to lunch with my friends and stuff, I'll give them one, and I'll say, "Here, put it in your tea," or put it. Well, of course, you know the tea doesn't have to be too hot, but if it's cold tea, it's amazing. I also like to, you know, share my samples. And if you have a means of sharing your samples, do so. And then say, you know what, if I give you a sample, can I send you some information from my Connect app so you can read about it? And if you're interested in buying it, you can buy it off the link I just sent you. And most of the time, they'll just buy it once or twice, and they'll just be their customer, and eventually they'll love it so much they want to be an affiliate. And then, you know, tell them, hey, we have a Zoom call on this day or that day. I mean, gosh, you know, our products make it so easy for people to want to have our you know, want to purchase them. I mean, if I wasn't in For Life, I would still be buying these products because there's nothing like them out there. And of course, our collagen does contain our transfer factor immune molecule, which is, we can't live without that, especially nowadays. But anyhow, I know, oh yeah, one more thing. If you want to really know what's in your gut, you have to buy this kit. It's called Viome. And Judy, I'm gonna have you tell people what it is because I know you've done it already. So Judy, can you please share with us what this does?
It's been a long time. It's been about 2 years since I did it, but it's a poop test, you guys, and it tells you what kind of bacteria you have. You just take a little sample of poop and you stick it in this tube and you send it off to them, and they send you an analysis of it. They tell you what your good bacteria is, what your bad bacteria is, what kind of things you can, what kind of foods you need to avoid eating, what kind of foods you need to, you know, you really need to include in your diet. And it's a wealth of information. It's not inexpensive, but it's not terribly expensive either. I can't remember. Gabby, do you remember how much it is? I don't remember.
You
but
know,
anyway,
if you buy it during Black Friday or a holiday, it's like $199, but normally it's like $300.
Yeah, well, I probably bought it on a Black Friday because I wouldn't have bought $300, but I did do it, and it really did give you it gave me some great information that I needed to help with my gut, because I honestly had a gut problem, and I have to be very careful about what I eat. Mike and we try to be very conscious of gluten and avoid it as much as possible. Now, I mean, when you have to really pay attention to labels, because gluten is in almost everything. And so you have to be very careful about reading your labels when you are at the grocery store. Another thing is, be sure that your food contains a lot of fiber, whatever you eat, and eat fresh foods as much as absolutely possible. Really bright colored vegetables. Learn to just try them. I mean, things that I had never tried in my life, I started just pulling out and baking them. And, you know, you can bake radishes, you can bake beets, and they're good. I couldn't believe it. I just, you know, as a kid, I remember my mother cooking beets, and I would just gag on them. But if you bake them, and they're not that, they get all over everything. That's the other thing, is that they will, that red dye will come out and it'll get on everything. But there are ways you can wash it and then just stick it in the oven. And if you buy organic, they say that you don't really want to get all the dirt off of your food before you put it in the oven. Because if it's organic, we really have done ourselves a disservice by not letting our kids play out in the dirt. But you have to be careful what kind of dirt they're playing in now. So, years ago, we were so much more healthy than we are now because our parents let us go out and play and get all these germs, and we'd build up an immunity to them. So I'm getting off on side notes here, but anyway, the Biome is a great product to use, and it really does help educate yourself about your own body. So I'm glad you brought that up, Gabie, because
I don't think she's getting off the topic, because I think now I want to send it towards nutrition, and that was your part, Judy, which we have. I'm not sure if you are posting more videos from Addie's kitchen, but now we're going to jump, and then we're going to leave so for a few minutes, Judy, so we can finish with the testimony and close up. Judy, tell us about Addie's kitchen, how you implemented new recipes to your diet, and also the crisis that you had. So you're right on track. And I want everybody to know that, wow, the incredible cooking that we can learn from her videos. So I want you to touch on that, Judy.
Well, I have actually not been doing Addie's kitchen for a while because I've had some freak accidents that have caused me to have surgery over the last year. And I'm going to have another one coming up next week. So it's on my shoulder from a fall that I took, and it tore my rotator cuffs. And the thing is, when you have to have surgery like that, they give you massive doses of antibiotics, which just wipes out all your good microbiome.
Judy, sorry, I'm going to interrupt you. I actually want to also, because it kind of goes with what the testimony. Judy, okay, before you go on with that, I want you to share with everyone how much you used to weigh, because you look so amazing right now. I want you to share how much you used to weigh at your highest weight. This lady, okay, listen to this, guys.
I'm 5'3", and so I'm not the tallest person in the world, but I'm not short like Gabie. But anyway, I'm 5'3", and I weighed 186 pounds at my highest weight. I lost 65 pounds, and I felt fabulous. And the way I did that was that I got rid of all the carbs in my house. I didn't have potatoes. I didn't have potato chips, no crackers, no bread. No gluten at all. I ate all fresh foods. I ate fresh fish, fresh chicken. I ate fresh vegetables, very colorful vegetables. I ate a lot of salads, and I made my own dressings. I didn't have store-bought dressings. You get some really good olive oil, and you can get flavored olive oils and some balsamic vinegars that are absolutely wonderful. And you just put those two little items together and stir them up and put a little bit of salt and pepper in them. And that makes you the most fabulous tasting little vinaigrette for any kind of vegetable and for salads. And you start eating things like cauliflower, and you can make cauliflower taste like mashed potatoes. They really can taste very yummy. You eat bright colored vegetables, lots of carrots, lots of celery, lots of green vegetables, because you need the bulk, you need the fiber that you gain from all these vegetables. And that's how I did it. And also, I got into a challenge called Wake Up and Walk. When you first wake up and you put your feet on the ground, put your shoes on, and walk out the door and walk for about at least 30 minutes, as fast as you can. If you can't walk fast. And when I first started, let me tell you, I didn't walk very far, and I certainly didn't walk very fast. But by the time I finished, by the time I was starting to feel better. I was able to walk very fast, and then it took me 6 months, y'all, before I even lost a pound. And then just all of a sudden, it just started melting. But it was the consistency, it was the consistency of doing it every single day and being very careful about what I put in my mouth. And that changed my life. It just made me feel so much better. It made my skin feel better. It made my body feel better. But then also I found 4Life, and I started taking specific products that have helped me just immensely. And there are certain things that I can do without, but there's other things that I don't want to do without. It's as far as our products are concerned. And it's like Gabie said, you get somebody that knows how much they help, and then they want to start taking them on a regular basis. So is that kind of
Judy,
what
that's amazing. Yes, it's great. I know that there's so much more that you can say, but I do want to leave the space for our new guest, Jen, who has been invited by Matty, because she has a great story to tell, which I haven't heard, but I'm super eager to call out on Jen. Call Jen, come to the front.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for that introduction. Maddie, yes, and I are on the same team underneath Brandon Cruz, which normally he goes by Brandex, but Karen Leal is also our upline. So she's actually the one that invited me. So, but it's good to see Maddie here. She's a great friend. I just wanted to share that I started my weight loss journey actually in 2017, but I didn't do very well on my own. At that time, I weighed 576 pounds, and I ended up in the emergency rooms with some major medical issues and was basically told I was going to die if I didn't do something. So I started the weight loss journey on my own. Didn't do very well. I had all kinds of people tell me, do this, do that, don't eat this, don't eat that. And I would post what I ate, and then I get criticized. And so I just kind of gave up at that time. But then in the summer of 2019, I was on Instagram and ran across a motivational video, live video that Brandex was doing. And something just in the way that he spoke and what he was saying spoke to me. And he was starting a summer challenge at that time. And I decided, I'm going to give it a try and see how it goes. And again, that was in June of 2019. And so I started to do his challenge, and then we spoke on the phone and decided that, he would be my health coach. And then I also started with 4Life. He introduced me to the 4Life supplements in end of July, 1st of August of 2019. And I started taking the supplements. And at that time, when I first started with him, I weighed 434 pounds. I'm now 234 pounds. And when I first started supplements, I started with the fiber cleanse and then the burn and prebiotics. And with those 3 products, I lost about 30 pounds within a month's time. So, and I've been going ever since with the supplements, the exercise and the workouts that Brandex gives us. But I can tell you that it all starts in the mind. The mindset is very important, whether you're trying to lose weight or trying to gain weight, because there are people, who need to gain weight or, gain muscle or whatever. It all starts in the mind. I had a very negative, dealing with depression and just different things in my life. And so that had a lot to do with my eating and why I was extremely overweight, because I was depending on food to bring me that comfort to deal with, life. And I really changed my eating habits. And I've also built a brand along with my weight loss journey. You'll find me on Instagram, Clubhouse, TikTok, under Jen's Pantry. And Jen's Pantry is my brand name, and Brandex helped me create that. And I create healthy recipes and give nutritional facts, as well as kind of associating when I create recipes and I post them, and with the nutritional information I give, kind of coordinate that with For Life supplements. When like sometimes I've posted, if you go to Instagram and you look at some of my posts with a nutritional, like say the immune system, and then, I create recipes or find recipes that help with the immune system or with hormone balance. And then people have messaged me, about how to help with hormone balance. And that's where I introduce the supplements. So, yeah. That's about the short version of my very long story.
Yes, Jen, you've done a great job. I actually have shared now Jen's Instagram, Jen's Pantry. So I've shared a few links. So Jen, thank you for that beautiful closing. And I just want to close up saying, Gabby's going to close us, but thank you, Judy. I have added the Woman Empowering Woman Facebook group for those of you that haven't joined us. Michael is our greatest fan, so he keeps that running with motivation. Gabby posts some motivation, so it's more of a motivational, but Gabby does a lot of the messages. So it's important when you join, because Gabby's always announcing things on the messages of Woman Empowering Woman. Also, we run a Cleanse and Detox and Balance Facebook group where we talk a lot about microbiome. We also have a microbiome group, but I didn't want to post them all. There's just too many already in there. And I also took the liberty to put Brandex's profile, because he is a great inspiration. And since we have a couple of people from his team here, he's obviously under Gabby's team, as almost all of us, if not all of us are. I think all of us are under Gabby's team. So it's always nice that we have somebody like that that we can honor in our meetings. He's a great fan of this room. He's a great friend to Gabby and Dave. So with that, thank you, everybody. I'm going to let our gracious Gabby close the meeting for today, but thank you to all my co-hosts. I don't see any new people besides Jen. And if you are new, you didn't write it for me in the chat, so I can't welcome you. But I do want to welcome Jen, who is the person that said, I am new in this meeting and I've been invited. So thank you, Jen, for being here. If there's anybody else new, welcome to Woman Empowering Woman. And Gabby, please close us up.
Thank you all for being here. I know you could be somewhere else, but you're here. And just real quick, this Viome kit, gosh, it runs about $250 right now. If you go to Viome.com, and if you go to Viome.com, it tells you more about what the kit does. It tells you everything. And to tell you the truth, I was going to give this one to Dave, because he did have Crohn's. Crohn's is also an autoimmune condition triggered by bad gut bacteria. And obviously he had that problem before we joined For Life, but ever since we started taking the products, he goes and does his colonoscopies and he's good. He's good. So if you have anyone suffering from any digestive problems, our products, they're supplements and they can help. Like I said, we're not here to diagnose or treat anything, but if I know my husband, if it worked on him having such a horrible autoimmune condition, why not offer it to your friends and loved ones? I mean, we do have a money back guarantee here in the US. So they have nothing to lose. And I usually tell people, try it for 90 days, okay? Again, if it doesn't work for you, you'll get your money back here in the US. So if you want to look it up, Viome is the name of the company that does the microbiome test. And it also, once you buy the kit, you register the kit. And it tells you, gives you a report of what your problems are. If you have fungus, if you have bacteria, if you have this, if you have that, and you put it, it's a smart app too. And then it suggests what kind of foods you can eat to better your health. And that's why this is an investment, but so are our products. Now, if I told you, if you take all these products that you need based on your gut, and you can live 10 more years and 10 healthier years, would you do it? I would. I mean, I like to live at least till I'm 90, obviously healthy. And there's so many things you can do to obviously improve your health. And that's why we're on this call. That's why we're affiliates with this company, because we do see what they've done for us. And when we take our products, starting with us 20 something years ago, we started with the classic formula, which is the only one we had. I always tell people, you can become a platinum by just having these 3 different products, the classic, the trifactor, and the plus. If we only had those products and no other product, we could still become platinums. So there's really, in the US market, gosh, we have every product. We have free shipping. We have, gosh, we're the first to get the new products. And I mean, I ordered I ordered like 24 packets of the new collagen, and I love it. And I've been taking like 2 a day with our new aloe vera. I mean, I didn't like the aloe vera because it was bitter. And of course, now it doesn't have any flavor at all. If you just combine these 2 together with just water, it does have a little bit of vanilla taste to it. It's really delicious. And it's good for your skin. It's good for your gut. It's good for your brain. It's good for your body. Believe me, you'll start feeling better. If you have sore knees, sore inflammation, you'll start feeling all that go away. And yes, you will start to lose weight, because when you eat the wrong food, you start retaining water. And it's sort of like when my son does have a nut allergy. When he consumes nuts, our body's reaction is it's something that shouldn't be there. So he starts swelling up. His body's in crisis. His body's trying to survive. So, obviously the secondary effects of an anaphylaxis attack is that his throat starts to close up. And one thing, his last attack he had about 7 years ago, he started throwing up. And it was on water. It was like water. And that's basically what our body's doing in a lower level when we have food allergies. We retain water, okay? That's why it's so important to do a stool test to see what are your food allergies? What do you need to avoid? And you don't need to avoid that forever, just for 6 months. And then you gently introduce one food at a time, maybe within a week's time, and then you introduce another food. If you don't have a reaction to the food, you won't have, like you have to clear your throat, that's a sign that you have a food allergy. Or you get a rash, that's a sign of a food allergy. Or you start like in the morning, your rings don't fit, that's a sign of a food allergy. Because obviously we retain water. And that's basically what our body does. It's trying to flush out whatever we're putting in our body. Anyhow, so much, like I said, so much to talk about this subject. And everybody, I'm sure Judy has a lot of great things, and Mike, wherever he is, and any one of you, there's so much to share, and we don't have enough time. But I would like to know, by raising your hand, your virtual hand, how many of you would like for Women Empowering Women to know more about the harmful effects of breast implants? That's kind of a touchy thing. But anyway, I'm an advocate for not getting breast implants. They're toxic, they're harmful, and they're basically something that doctors don't think they're harmful. Obviously, they're FDA approved. FDA is simply business, okay? You pay the right amount of money, they're gonna approve anything. They will, I mean, look, they've approved the different things that we are going through right now. But yes, the repercussions of having implants, if I knew 10 years ago what I know now, I would have never gotten them. And it costs more money to get implants, to get them out than to get them in. So anyhow, we will do that sometime the next couple of months. And basically, if you know anybody that's going to get implants, have them do their research first. There's a group on Facebook called, if you already have implants, there's a group on Facebook called Breast Implant Illness, which is basically it's a private group that women that are going through their explant or their implant, they're sharing stories on how they recovered, how their autoimmune conditions have affected them. Obviously, you know, they don't allow us to sell anything, but sometimes occasionally I'll private message them, you know, if it's very, you know, bad for them, because obviously it's one of those things that people don't believe that a simple capsule can help them. But anyhow, if you're brave enough and you join the group and you want to share our products, you can do that if you private message them. I'm sure you're not there to sell anything. You're there to just let them know, hey, if you want your immune system to get better, then I have something for you. But I appreciate your time. Dave and I appreciate all of you. We are coming to the end of the month. So just make sure you follow up with your affiliates and let them know, hey, you need to buy your loyalty program. You need to buy the new collagen and the new aloe vera. Try it. They're amazing. Along with all the other products we have received in the past couple of months here in the US. Anyway, we have the best company in the world, thanks to David and Bianca Lisenby. And we have an amazing, just everything's amazing about it. Thank you so much. Mwah. We love you all. Thank you, Claudia, and thank you, Judy. And thank you, Jen, for sharing your story. Anyone else I miss? Anyway.
Thank you for take off your mics and you can say goodbye to your platinum. You can take off your mics now and say goodbye to each other. Thank you, everybody.
Bye. Thank you, Gabie.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Thank you to my co-host. Good to see you, Judy. I'm glad you're now better. Thank you. Thank you, Gurwinder.
Thank you. Thank you. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.